Dear students, let us continue the first year topic vectors. Though in the textbook vectors is not included in one chapter, but you will see vectors from 4th chapter to 7th chapter. I thought it is better to complete the vectors as a one topic. Today we are going to complete the topic vectors. Vectors, as I told you, very important in problem solving and in making physics simple. A complex problem can be simplified by using vector notation. It is a notation. We studied about addition of vectors, subtraction of vectors. Before going to multiplication of vectors, we should know resolution of a vector. Resolution means splitting a vector into two orthogonal components. They are also called rectangular components. Now, let us see. Suppose there is a vector A. This is vector A. These are the two coordinate axes. This is x-axis and y-axis. Let us say the vector A is making an angle theta with the x-axis. If I put a light here, I will get the shadow of vector A on the x-axis. That we call as the projection of vector A on x-axis. The projection of A on x-axis, let us say AX. If I put a light here, I will get the shadow on y-axis. So, let us take this shadow. The shadow we are not supposed to call shadow, it is the projection, and projection is given by AY. Now, it is simple a right angle triangle. You can apply sin theta and cos theta. You can write AX is equal to mod A cos theta. This is mod A, this is vector A whose magnitude is A. In the same way, I can write AY is equal to mod A sin theta. So, these two are called the rectangular components of vector A. This is opposite to parallelogram law of vector addition. What did we do in parallelogram law of vector addition? We had two vectors, let us say P and Q. So, the resultant was this. And this is the opposite one. Here the vector is given, you are getting its two components. Since it is on x-axis, I have to put I to the AX and I have to put J to AY to reconstruct the vector A. So, what is the final outcome of a resolution of a vector? A vector can be splitted into two normal components or two rectangular components along x and y axis. So, this is the feasibility of vectors. If a vector is given, that can be split into two components. If two components are given, they can be added to form a vector. Now, I can write the vector A as AXI plus AYJ. So, AX is equal to mod A cos theta. This is called horizontal component of the vector. Why it is called horizontal? Horizontal to the ground. AY is called vertical component of the vector. Why it is vertical? It is vertical to the ground. So, this is called vertical component and this is called horizontal component. Components are not vectors unless and until they are multiplied with unit vectors I and J. So, these two are called rectangular components of vectors. They are nothing but the projections of the vector on x-axis and on y-axis. From these two I can write tan theta is equal to AY by AX. So, by using this I can find out the angle made by the vector A with the x-axis. In the exam there will be a question. The question reads like this. What is the angle made by the vector I plus j with the x-axis? So, this is I plus j, a vector. What is the angle between the vector A and the x-axis? This is the x-axis. Now, what is the value of AX here? AX is 1 and AY is also 1. From this I can write theta is equal to tan inverse AY by AX. So I'll get this is tan inverse 1 which is equal to 45 degrees. This is a 2 marks question in the exam. In the recent exam, it was asked. The angle made by the vector I plus j with the x-axis is 45 degrees. Another way is also there to find out the vector, the angle made by the vector, that we will discuss in the dot product of vectors. This is the simplest method, right? So where do we see the resolution of vectors? In many problems, we come across resolution of vectors. I will give you few examples that we are going to discuss in the coming chapters. In the fourth chapter, we have motion in a plane, that is a two-dimensional motion, where we discuss a topic called projectile. What is a projectile? Projectile is nothing but I throw some stone in the air and that follows a parabolic path and falls on the ground. To describe the motion of this projectile, I require two axes, x-axis and y-axis. The stone is traveling like this and falling on the ground due to gravitational attraction. I give only some initial velocity, that is u. This is the initial velocity. This initial velocity is making an angle theta with the horizontal. Now I can resolve this into two components. One is ux and the other one is uy. So ux becomes u cos theta and uy becomes u sin theta. This is the first thing that we are going to see in the fourth chapter. In the same way, when we discuss friction, there will be a problem on an inclined plane. What do you mean by inclined plane? This is called an inclined plane. Yes, this is called an inclined plane. It is inclined, making an angle theta with the horizontal. Suppose some object is rolling down or some object is sliding down. Now its weight always acts toward the ground and its weight is given by mg. Now we resolve this, mg's weight is nothing but force, we resolve this into two components. So this is one component and this is another component. If this is theta, this will also be theta. It's a simple mathematical proof that we can do. It becomes mg cos theta and this is mg sin theta. This mg sin theta is equal to frictional force, and this mg cos theta that we are going to discuss in the friction, this is called a normal reaction. So this is another example. In oscillations, in the oscillations, we have a derivation for the period of oscillation of a simple pendulum. This is called a simple pendulum. We will discuss later, but I am giving the importance of a resolution of a vector. So this is a bob connected to a wire of length or a thread of length L. What I do, in order to oscillate it, I will pull one side, making a small angle theta, infinitesimally small, then only it will be in SHM. So I will pull it on the sideways and then leave it. Then it makes simple harmonic oscillations. What is simple harmonic motion, that we will discuss in the next chapters. Now the bob will have some weight. So the weight is acting always toward the earth. This is mg. Now this can also be resolved into two components. This is mg cos theta and this is mg sin theta. So due to this mg sin theta part of the weight, the bob is trying to reach its mean position. So if this is theta, then this is also theta. So this is the another example that we encounter in the coming chapters. So what we wrote, ax is equal to mod a cos theta. The side, the component which is making theta should be written as cos theta. That is the best way to remember. Next one is ay is equal to mod a sin theta. Just you square these two equations and add them, you will get ax square plus ay square is equal to mod a square can be taken common. You will get sin square theta plus cos square theta. In trigonometry, this is equal to 1. So it becomes mod A is equal to under root ax square plus ay square. This we discussed as the magnitude of a vector. So this is one and the same. So this is about resolution of vectors. That is, as I told you, quite opposite to parallelogram law of vectors. Now let us go to multiplication part of the vectors. There are three types of multiplications, but only two are important with respect to intermediate, but the third one is also important with respect to your entrance exams. Now we will discuss multiplication of vectors. There are three types. First one is a vector multiplied by a scalar. Scalar is nothing but a number. So I am multiplying a vector with a scalar. This is one. The second one is I am multiplying two vectors, A and B. So multiplication of two vectors. The third one is I am multiplying three vectors, multiplication of three vectors. So this is generally called triple product of vectors because there are three vectors. This one is very, very important and this is very simple. Let us say there is a vector A. This is vector A. I multiply vector A with a number. Let us say with 2. So what happens when I multiply A with 2, its size becomes twice. So this is 2A. There is nothing else. So when I multiply a vector with a number k, its magnitude increases by k times without bringing any change in the direction. For example, for the same vector A, I multiply with 3, then it becomes 3A. For the same vector, I multiply with 1 by 2, then it becomes half. This is A by 2. That's all. For the same vector, if I multiply with minus 2, then its direction will be reversed and the magnitude becomes twice. This is minus 2A. This is the first one. Now what about the second one? Second one and third one are named depending upon the resultant what you get after the multiplication. I will repeat. I am taking two vectors and I multiply. If the result is a vector, then that is called vector product of two vectors. The result can be a scalar, then that is called a scalar product. In the same way, in triple product also, there can be two answers. One is the result may be a vector, then that is called vector triple product. That is three vectors when multiplied the result is vector. Then you can have scalar triple product also. That means the result is a scalar. After multiplication of three vectors, you are getting a result as a number, that is a scalar. So these are the names depending upon the resultant. The second one is very, very important with respect to intermediate or plus 2 level. The third one is not that much important, but in mathematics for MPC people, they will have it in mathematics also. But it is better to learn. Now let us discuss product of two vectors, that is multiplication of two vectors. As I told you, there are two types of multiplications in the case of two vectors. Vector A is multiplied with another vector B, the result is a scalar, then that is called a scalar product. A vector multiplied with another vector B and the result is a vector, then that is called a vector product. Since there are two types of vectors, we should have different symbols. We are supposed to use two different symbols in order to avoid the ambiguity. For the first multiplication, for the first product, we use dot. So I read it as A dot B. A dot B. It is also called dot product of two vectors. Dot product indicates scalar product. Here I have to use another symbol. The symbol is cross. So I have to say it as cross product of two vectors, or I read A cross B, A dot B. I also call it as vector product of two vectors. In order to differentiate, I am using two different symbols. The first one is dot, the second one is cross. I think it is clear, right? Right. Now, how do we define the dot product? A dot B is equal to mod A mod B cos theta. This is vector A and this is vector B. The angle is theta. The dot product of two vectors is defined as the product of their magnitudes and the cosine of the angle between A and B. This can also be written as, I will write like this, mod A into mod B cos theta. What is mod B cos theta? Mod B cos theta is the projection of B on A. Just now we discussed in the resolution of a vector. This is vector A, this is vector B. As I told you, component is a shadow of this vector. So this is making an angle theta. Now I will put it here. It becomes mod B cos theta. So dot product can also be defined as the product of the projection of the vector on the first vector and the magnitude of the first vector. I am taking the magnitude of one multiplied with the projection of the other vector on the first vector. Now this can also be written as mod B into mod A cos theta. So that is the reason why the dot product is defined as the magnitude of one vector and the projection of the second vector on the first vector. So it is better to remember this is enough. So you should keep it in your mind all the time. Dot product is mod A mod B cos theta. Very simple, right? There are some properties regarding dot product that we will discuss now. This you should know. These are all very, very important. Now we are concentrating on the dot product, that is nothing but the scalar product. Let us discuss its properties. See, mod A is a number, mod B is also a number, cosine of the angle theta is also number. Number into number into number, you are getting a number. Number is nothing but scalar, isn't it? So dot product, the result of the dot product, it produces a scalar. Is it clear? Now let us discuss the first one. So A dot B is equal to B dot A. Commutative property is followed because number 2 into 3 is equal to 3 into 2. Now second one, if theta is equal to 0 degrees, so cos 0 is equal to 1. So dot product has got maximum value when the angle is 0. See, A dot B is equal to mod A mod B. This is the maximum possible value. Suppose a vector A is having a dot product with its own vector A, then I can write it as vector A dot A, it becomes mod A into mod A, you will get mod A square. Now third one, if theta is equal to 90 degrees, so cos 90 is equal to 0. That means when theta is equal to 90 degrees, when two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other, then their dot product vanishes. It disappears, it becomes 0. So you will get A dot B in this case is equal to mod A mod B into cos 90. Cos 90 is 0, you will get 0. Is it minimum? Now let us check. Now fourth one, when theta is equal to 180 degrees. When theta is equal to 180 degrees, cos 180 becomes minus 1. So in this case, A dot B becomes minus of mod A mod B. So this is the minimum possible value. You remember, from theta is equal to 90 degrees to 180 degrees, the dot product will be negative. For all angles lying between 90 and 180 degrees, the dot product of those two vectors will have negative value. So negative indicates minimum. This is not minimum. So negative is less than 0. So that is the minimum value. Is it clear? Now let us go for the other one. Now let us take I dot I. So unit vector on x-axis and unit vector on x-axis. From the definition it becomes mod I, and a vector makes 0 degrees with its own vector. So it is cos 0 degree. A vector makes 0 degrees with itself. So cos 0 is 1. So mod I is 1. Unit, since it is a unit vector, 1 into 1, you will get 1. In the same way, j dot j is equal to 1. K dot k is equal to 1 from this one. Next, sixth one, if I write I dot j, that is 1 is on x-axis, j is on y-axis, the angle between x and y is 90 degrees. So it becomes mod I mod j cos 90. What is the value of cos 90? It's 0. So it becomes 0. So you can write any two, that is j dot k is equal to 0 or k dot j is equal to 0. So I dot I is equal to 1, j dot j is equal to 1, k dot k is equal to 1, I dot j is 0 or j dot I is 0, j dot k is 0 or k dot j is 0, or if you want you can write I dot k is also 0. The angle between x and z axis will also be 90 degrees. So the result is 0. Is it clear? Now, if I take two position vectors, that is A is equal to AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. This is one vector. And the second vector B is equal to BXI plus BYJ plus BZK. What is the value of A dot B? Tell me. Very simple. So AX into BX. I dot I 1. AX, BY, I dot J 0. So multiplication of AX with this only, AX, BX. With this it becomes 0. With this it becomes 0. So you'll end up with simply, you can remember this is equal to AX, BX plus AY, BY plus AZ, BZ. This is very simple. So whenever two vectors are given like this, just you have to multiply the coefficients of I with another coefficient of I. That is the coefficients you have to multiply. J coefficient with J coefficient, K into K coefficient, like that. So this is the another property that you should remember. By using dot product, there is one advantage of dot product. You can find out the angle between two vectors. Suppose there are two vectors. Let us say A is equal to same AXI plus AYJ plus AZK, B is equal to vector B is equal to BXI plus BYJ plus BZK. From the definition of dot product, I can write cos theta is equal to A dot B divided by mod A mod B. So the theta value can be written as cos inverse of this one. Now A dot B can be written as simply AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ. What is the value of mod A? Mod A we know AX square under root AY square plus AZ square under root of AX square plus AY square plus AZ square. What about mod B? Same, under root of BX square plus BY square plus BZ square. It is very clear when theta is equal to 90 degrees, we wrote A dot B is equal to 0. If it is given that two vectors are perpendicular, directly you can write this whole becomes 0. You can write AX BX plus AY BY plus AZ BZ is equal to 0. There will be a 2 marks question in the entrance exams. He will give you two vectors. For example, one vector is 2I plus j minus k, and another vector he will give something like minus I plus j plus pk, like this. You will say these two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other. Find out the value of p. So how to find out the value? Just multiply the coefficients. So 2 into minus 1 plus here j coefficient is 1. Here is also 1. So plus Here minus 1 into p. This b is equal to 0 from this definition. So it becomes minus 2 plus 1 minus p is equal to 0. So this is minus 1 minus p is equal to 0. So it implies p is equal to minus 1. So I am in a position to find out the value of p when it is given that these two vectors are mutually perpendicular to each other. This is the advantage of a dot product or scalar product. We can find the angle. In the first topic of resolution of vectors, I gave one problem, the recent question paper problem, where you are asked to find the angle between a vector I plus j with the x-axis. So let us say the first vector is a is equal to I plus j. This is the first vector. Here he is asking us to find the angle between vector a and x-axis. This is vector a. You have to find out the angle theta. The first method I told you, by using resolution of vectors, that is tan theta is equal to ay by x, that is the easiest one. The second method is, here x-axis can be taken as the vector I. We knew that unit vector I is existing on x-axis. Now a dot b, that is I dot I 1. The formula cos theta is equal to a dot b, that is a dot b is 1. Now mod a is 1 square plus 1 square, mod b is 1 square. So you will get cos theta is equal to 1 by root 2. From this you can write theta is equal to 45 degrees. Even in this way also you can find the angle between vector I plus j and the x-axis. But the first method is the simplest one. Even in this way also you can do the problem. So this is about dot product. Let us go to the cross product. I think dot product is clear. Right. Two vectors a and b. The cross product is indicated by this cross. You should get a vector. The result must be a vector. How it is defined? The cross product is defined as the product of their magnitudes and the sign of the angle between those two vectors and a unit vector. Here n is a unit vector. So when I multiply this number, scalar, multiplied with a unit vector, then only it becomes a vector. The result must be a vector. So what is n? N is a unit vector along the direction of resultant vector c. Right. I will take the example. This is vector a and this is vector b. The resultant vector is c. The angle between a and b is theta. You remember, vector c is perpendicular to the plane consisting of a and b and passing through the intersection of a and b. The best example is, you take the textbook, you take a book, it's the plane. On this plane, this is vector a and this is vector b. So this is vector a and this is vector b. And vector c will be like this. See, the pen is perpendicular to the plane consisting of a and b, and it is passing through the intersection, point of intersection of a and b. There is a rule called right hand screw rule or right hand thumb rule, or simply we call right hand rule. How to determine the direction of c? You put your right hand and you fold your fingers in the direction of a to b, because you are taking a cross b. So this is c. For the same two vectors, if I take b cross a, so I have to start from b and move towards a. So it is opposite to c. So in the case of b cross a, this is b and this is a. In the case of b cross a, the resultant direction is like this. And the resultant direction is opposite to c, so I have to put minus c. So from this I can come to a conclusion that A cross B is never equal to B cross A, because the resultants are opposite to each other. So commutative law is not followed in the case of vector product or cross product. We consider only the magnitude. Now what is n? N is a unit vector. This is n. So if I take the magnitude, then the mod C will become mod A, mod B, sin theta. This you have to remember. Is it clear? Right. Right. Let us see some properties. If theta is equal to 0 degrees, then sin 0 is 0. So mod C becomes 0. This is opposite to the dot product. So A cross B, the magnitude of A cross B becomes 0 when theta is equal to 0 degrees. That is the reason why A cross A, the vector cross product with its own vector, with the same vector, its magnitude will be 0. This is very, very important. In the case of A dot A, it is not 0, it was mod A square. Is it clear? Next, second one. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, then sin 90 degrees is equal to 1. So in that case, mod A cross B is maximum, that is equal to mod A into mod B. As we wrote I dot I, J dot J and K dot K, here also we will take the unit vectors I, J, K, and let us see their relations. So I cross I, this is equal to mod I into mod I. If I take the magnitude, mod I into mod I, the vector makes 0 degrees with the same vector. So it's 0, this is 0, so we'll get 0. So from this identities, can I write I cross I is equal to 0, J cross J is equal to 0. In the same way, K cross K is equal to 0. If you take two unit vectors on two different axes, x and y axis, then it becomes I cross J. So from this definition, this is mod I, mod J. This is sin 90. Sin 90 is equal to 1. And the C must be perpendicular to both I and J. So definitely it must be K. Because I is x-axis, J is y-axis. So to both x and y, the perpendicular axis is Z. So I will get I cross J is equal to K. So I can write I cross J is equal to K. Now what about J cross I? Opposite is minus K. Is it clear? In the same way. So you have to remember like this. For suppose it is I, this is J, this is K. If you are going in this direction, it will be positive. That is I cross J is equal to K. J cross I is equal to minus K. The third one. Now take J cross K. I am going in the same direction. J cross K, the result is I. If I take K cross J, then that is minus A. Now let us take K cross I. K cross I is equal to J. I cross K is equal to minus J. So this is about cross product of two unit vectors. Now let us take two position vectors and how to find out the cross product when two position vectors are given. There is a simplest formula that you have to implement to write it simply, otherwise in this way it is very difficult. Suppose two vectors are given, one is A is equal to AXI plus AYJ plus AZK. In position vector format, this is B is equal to BXI plus BYJ plus BZK. Now how to find A cross B? The best method is the determinant form. In mathematics, in matrices, you might have studied, you have to write the determinant form. A cross B, first you have to write I, J, K. I, j, k. Then you have to write the coefficients. So in the case of first vector, this is a x and this is a y, this is a z. In the case of second one, bx, by, bz. I think we'll be knowing how to take the determinant in the case of a 3 by 3 matrix. For BPC people, they may not be familiar with this, but I'll make it simple. You have to write like this. Take the first one I. You draw two lines like this. So leave the horizontal and vertical. What are remaining? AY, AZ, BY, BZ. So you write a small determinant AY, AZ, BY, BZ. In the same way for J, but do remember to put negative sign in front of J. That you have to keep in your mind. So this is J, this column, and this horizontal row you have to neglect. So what are remaining? So this is AX, BX, this is AZ and BZ plus K. Now this is K and this one. Remaining are AX, AY, BX, BZ. So AX, AY, BX, BZ. Now the determinant of 2 by 2 matrix is just like this multiplication. Now the value is I into multiply these two. This is AY, BZ minus BY, AZ. To put arrow minus J into this is AX, BZ. This product of these two minus product of these two. We have to take the diagonals. This is minus AZ, BX. In the same way for K, I can write it as AX. So K is this one. So AX, AY, BX, BY. This is Y. So this is AX, BY and minus AY, BX. You have to practice by taking two different vectors. This on practice it becomes so simple. In the recent exam, there was a question. If I have time, I'll do that problem also. So this is the way of doing the cross product between two position vectors. Generally, all vectors are position vectors. You have to do like this. Now, what is the significance of a cross product? If A and B are the two sides of a parallelogram, this is A, this is B, then A cross B, the mod of A cross B is nothing but it indicates the area of the parallelogram. So A cross B. I can cut it into two halves. Then this is one triangle, this is another triangle. Now another formula also I can write, that is half of the modulus of A cross B is equal to the area of the triangle whose sides are A and B. The simple A cross B, the modulus of A cross B is the area of the parallelogram whose sides are A and B. Is it clear? Right. So this is about the properties of vector product. So for scalar product, I will repeat, we wrote like this: A dot B is equal to mod A mod B cos theta. Do remember, this is a number, so it is a scalar. So it is called dot product. This is called cross product. This is mod A mod B sin theta into a unit vector. Now there are number of examples that we will see in physics. For example, work done is given by F dot S, where F is the force vector, S is the displacement vector. For example, some object is here, I am pulling it by applying some force. This is the direction of the displacement. It will be displaced from here to another place. So it will come here. The angle is theta. Then the work done is defined as W is equal to F dot S. In the same way, power is defined as F dot V. where v is the velocity vector and f is the force vector. What are the examples for cross product? Generally, cross product examples you will find in rotatory motion. One is v is equal to omega cross r, where v is called linear velocity, omega is called angular velocity, r is the radius vector or position vector. Another one is we'll discuss in the coming chapters. This is called torque. Torque is defined as r cross f. F is force and r is the radius. So you can also have another one, L is equal to r cross p. That is the relationship between angular momentum and linear momentum. So these are the examples for dot product and cross product, right? Though the triple product is not there in our intermediate syllabus, but it is better to know what is triple product. As I told you, triple product is the multiplication of three vectors. I have to take three vectors. Suppose I have three vectors A, B and C. I can have three vectors. In that case, so vector A, vector B, vector C. If I write A dot into B cross C, it will be a scalar. This gives a vector. Vector into vector dot product is a scalar. So this is called scalar triple product. This is called scalar triple product. The result is scalar. Based on that result, we are naming it as scalar triple product. The best way to get the answer is here, this one, same determinant form, ax, ay, az, bx, by, bz, and cx, cy, cz. You will get a number. This indicates the volume of a parallelopipe. That is, you have a parallelogram like this. One is A, another one is B. So this is C. So you have another one here. So you will get a cubical structure. Parallelopipe is just like a cube in three-dimensional. In three-dimensional diagram, you have to draw like this. This is called a parallelopipe. So this is scalar triple product. Now what about vector triple product? Vector triple product, the simple only difference is here also you will put cross. This is called vector triple product. Is it clear? And its value is, we write it as A dot C. The value of that we write it as A dot C into B minus A dot B into C. Is it clear? This is the way of writing vector triple product. Right, in the recent exam there is a 4 marks problem. If a vector A is equal to 3i minus 4j plus 5k and vector B is equal to minus 2i plus j minus 3k, find scalar as well as vector products of both A and B. This is a 4 marks question. For scalar product, if you get the correct answer, you will get 2 marks. For vector product, you will get 2 more marks. Now let us do first scalar product. As I told you, A dot B, just you write like this, 3i minus 4j plus 5k dot minus 2i plus j minus 3k. Just multiply the coefficients of I, j and k, but you have to take care of the negative and positive signs. Now, coefficient of I here is 3, here it is minus 2. So this is equal to 3 into minus 2 plus here minus 4 into 1 plus here 5 into minus 3. So better to put negative coefficients in the brackets so that you will get the correct answer. So this is equal to minus 6, minus 4, this is minus 15. So the answer is minus 25. So this is the answer, that is the scalar product of these two vectors. So it is clear that it is a number. Number is nothing but a scalar. This is the first one. Is it clear? Now let us do the second one. In order to do the cross product or vector product, as I told you, you have to draw determinant. You have to do the problem in the form of determinants. So first you draw two lines, that is nothing but a determinant form. Put I, j, k. Next coefficient of I in the first vector 3, j minus 4, of k 5. Next this one minus 2. Here j coefficient is 1, should not put 0, and k coefficient is minus 3. Now, as I told you, first you take I, so leave this column and this row. Remaining are these two. So if you want, you can write next step also, but no need to write this step. For the second one, as I told you, you have to keep minus sign, so minus j. So leaving this, so remaining are, this is 3, 5, minus 2, minus 3. But for k you have to put plus only. So leave this column. So remaining are these two. So 3, minus 4, minus 2, 1. So diagonal multiplication. So this is I. So minus into minus plus, you will get 12, minus 5. Minus j. So minus 9 of minus 2 into 5. So this is minus of minus 10. Plus k, this is 3, minus into minus will become plus, so it becomes 8. So this is 12 minus 5 is 7i. This is minus 9, minus into minus plus 10. So 10 minus 9, 1, you will get minus j. Here 3 minus 8 is minus 5. 5k. This is the answer, simple answer. So A cross B is equal to 7i minus j minus k minus 5k. It is a vector. So with this example, I think you understood how to calculate the dot product and cross product. Thank you.